One of my favorite issues from Mix Magazine every year, and for a long, long time, is always the class of where they would show different studios being built, and they would feature that in the magazine. So I just got my newest copy of Mix Magazine electronically, and by the way, it's free. You can go sign up, and they'll put you on their mailing list and send it to you, and it's great information. But they did the class of 2025, and I always found this fascinating because some studios are just fantastic and just spectacular how they've done them, and some of them it's just a bedroom with a table in it, and I just don't understand why they did that. So on I put on the front of this video, it's like the pages from Mix Magazine you can see, but the first studio that I thought was really interesting. There's a Walter Stork design a room, and it was done in Atlanta, and this is the basically what a studio should look like. Has a big SSL console in there and the Asperger-ish kind of speakers. When I say ish, because a lot of people making that design and you don't know who's designing them, but it's beautifully done. The aesthetic to it. You just walk into a place like that and you feel like you're in a studio. The acoustic treatment, the racks behind the sitting position, even the live room, and all these little subtle features where to make the walls not parallel, they put little panels and they tilt them, slightly. And ISO booth. And that's one thing I've been seeing in a lot of studios. They put lighting, LED lighting, so you can change it. So I put a bunch of pictures. So what I did is for things that I thought were interesting, I went to the website and grabbed some pictures and thought I'd do some comments. But I'll put in the description links to all these studio designers. So if you want to go there and see what else they do. And the one thing I like about Walter Stork Design is they always have a blueprint of what they're showing you, what they've done. And this is the way when you hire a studio designer, this is what they should be presenting you with. A lot of detail. And I put those drawings at the end of that studio from Atlanta. So that the next studio is Pilcher Schustel did this one. This is deadmau5, and I don't know. This is a kind of crazy design because you see all the modular synths on the left and the right, which are really hard and reflective surfaces. And it looks like they did some acoustic treatment on the ceiling and in the front of the room, but it's just a crazy room. I don't know what that room's going to sound like. But basically, this room was made as a auxiliary room to the main studio that this guy deadmau5 has. And in his main studio, he has all the keyboards around him. So this room looks like it was specifically made for these modular synths. And I don't know how he's controlling them. I guess he has to get up and tweak each one of these things. The picture could also be a big fisheye lens, so they're actually a lot closer than you think. And then he has those prototypes of the speakers. I think they're made in Turkey. I forgot the name, but that's interesting. I just don't know what that's going to sound like. The next studio is this is a West Lachey room that they built up in New York, and this is a beautiful room. I mean, you can see they have diffusion panels and absorption panels and just all the woodwork that they did there. It just looks beautiful. You walk into this kind of place, just like the place in Atlanta, and it just feels like a studio. A little odd that they have the 24 track and they're sitting in the control room. You would think that would be in the machine room, but if that's how they're comfortable doing things. I think it's a little odd that they put all the stomp pedals on the top of the effects rack. That's just an odd way of displaying things. But all really done very well. I met Wes Lachey at the AES show. He was interested in the Quested monitors. Never heard back from him, but he's a youngish kind of guy. I mean, this was a while back, but But his rooms, every single room I've seen, they look really nice, and they just have a personality to them. So that's all the pictures for the West Lachey stuff. And then what was the next studio? Because and this one was done, the West Lachey was done in New York, so you see the windows overlooking New York. And then I put at the very end, I put a drawing of his studios just for dimensions. The studio after that is a studio, I forgot where it was. It's a Studio 412, I think it was called. And this studio is more of like a laboratory than I would call a studio. It doesn't, you walk in and you feel like I'm going to create in here because the guitars are all available, and it just seems like a cozy place to do work. Yeah, you can see the guitars are all hanging on the wall, but the curtains they have, it just seems like there's a musician's studio. These are musicians that created a studio to be creative in, and that's great. It's just a different thing than the West Lachey or the Walter Stork design, and even their drawing of the floor plan of what they're doing. It's kind of a unique floor plan. And right after that, I have a picture of this studio. It's called the Living Room, and it's a studio in Greece. And I went to their website, but it says they're permanently closed. But maybe that's wrong because they just got posted. But their whole thing is doing immersive mixing, and it's a nice little room that they have there. So it was just one picture that they had. And then the next studio, place up in Massachusetts, this was their B room. And it's kind of in between a studio and a cozy, what do you call it, lab, the way it's designed. So and I like that they did the unique feature, the woodwork in the panels. So when you look at a picture of the studio, you go, yeah, that's that, it's from that place. But they have a picture of their A room also, which I don't know, it's kind of a strange design. It's a really big open space. And the console seems really up front. So if you're trying to look to the right, you can't really look straight out. It's a strange, but you work within the boundaries you have. The one thing I thought that was interesting, above where that big space is, where between the console and the couch in the back there, they took the whole ceiling and angled it, just so it's not parallel. Interesting. And then we got into, then there's another a room. It's called Faro House, and another Walter Stork design room. And the only thing I think is a little strange, you see the ATC monitors looks like they maybe had different monitors in there and they put these smaller ones in. But everything else is just like, it's perfectly, that's where it's supposed to go. Small room, just a studio and a control room. And you can see from the drawings, but just very well done. I mean, they really, I talked to Beth Walters one time when we were thinking about, I think it was Sigma Studio. And she asked all really pointed questions, really good questions. So she slick company. And then the next studio was Carl Tatz. And this is a room, what was it called? Mix Manor. It's, I think it was out in LA. And you can see it's for immersive. But I think the unique design feature here is you see the windows on the left and the right. Rather than having a huge plate of glass, they broke it up into smaller pieces of glass. And they put those columns in the middle to absorb. And I thought that was a nice touch to, keep the sound where you want it to be. And this doesn't have a console. It seems like it's a mastering facility because you look at where the person sits for his editing. He's looking at the big monitor, and he has just a little keyboard in front of him and some effects gear on either side. But also, they did is in one of those pictures you can see the center channel. I think it's on some kind of motorized stand because it disappears. You probably hit a switch and it goes out of the way. And then the next one, this was a Pilsner Schuster mastering room that is immersive, and it looks interesting. Pilsner Schuster really makes beautiful looking rooms. This one, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. It's an interesting room. And this room, the next one, this is a room in Minnesota. And it's just interesting use of space with all the white pine and it just seems very interesting. Big open space, so more like a laboratory of creating music. And then I think this is the last one. This was a studio that was in Costa Rica. And it just has a little interesting vibe to it. They have the PMC monitors. It looks like they made a custom enclosure for their API box and their effects, their outboard gear. And it's just I don't know what their diffusion panels or what they have them hanging on the side and in the front. And the one thing I thought that was interesting too was they have a big window that you look out and you look into this little courtyard, but there's a picture of the courtyard. So I'm wondering if they use that space to record in. I've heard of some people doing that where they'll put microphones outside and record. Granted, you may pick up noise from what's going on, but if there's no noise at all and it's totally quiet, it's an interesting way of recording. I think I heard of Tommy Shaw recording in LA that way. Maybe it was someone else. But this is my commentary on the rooms. I didn't cover every single room, but I'll put the links of all the designers. It's interesting to go to the designers and see what they're doing. And some of them, it's interesting how they set up their website too, because you can tell they're sticklers for detail when they make their website just exactly the way their vision is. And some of them are just kind of slapped together, and it tells you a lot about the company designing things. So there you go. Just my commentary on this year's studio designs.